Hey guys,
Welcome back.
welcome to the Fifth Wheel podcast.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
I said welcome back, and you said welcome to the Fifth Wheel podcast.
Oh no, it's okay.
Do we want to say welcome to the Fifth Wheel podcast together?
I don't know. You can go. You go.
No, you can go. I just interrupted you, so.
Oh no, it's okay. It's the
no,
name.
You go.
no, you're cute jeans.
No, you hang up first.
No, you're cute jeans.
No, you're cute jeans. Those are my jeans?
No, you're cute jeans.
Wait, those aren't my jeans, are they? Okay. Hi, welcome back to the Fifth Wheel podcast. I'm Hannah.
I'm Sydney.
And
yeah, this is our Japan episode.
We don't have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, you'll find out why.
But will they find out why? I feel like there's nothing to find out.
They will because they won't. Or they won't because they will.
Regardless, nothing happens.
Figure out whichever one of those works. Big brain. It's a Monday. We really don't do ourselves any service filming these on a Monday.
No, especially after a long work day.
Yeah, but you know what? It's fine. We're here. We're gonna yap a little bit. This will probably be a quick one.
Yeah.
We say that. I doubt this one really is long because in a nutshell, this race could have been an email.
Yeah.
The whole race weekend there was some stuff, but the race itself, yeah.
We were having to pry our eyes open. Parker actually fell asleep on the floor. He made himself a little bed with a couch pillow on the floor.
Because he was asleep on my couch for a while.
And then he moved to the floor.
He woke up. And then, made himself a little pallet on my floor and slept.
Yeah.
I was a little envious of him.
Yeah, we were all tired. I could not keep my eyes open.
No.
I was struggling. I had to go like this at times.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll get there. Because a whole bunch of interesting stuff happened prior to the race.
So we were surely this race will be crazy.
Well, and historically, Suzuka has produced some phenomenal races.
Yeah.
I mean, there have, and not even just in recent Formula One history, there have just been such... That actually tickled a little bit.
It did.
Uh-huh.
Trying to make you sneeze.
Hannah got a feather pen this weekend, and I think it's your new personality trait.
Yeah.
You feel very Harry Potter?
Yes.
Thank you.
I almost said sí. I've been in Mexico for a week, and I keep wanting to say hola instead of hello, when I walk in.
Well, that's fair.
And not in a cute, fun way, and it just that's all I heard for a week.
Well, you were in Mexico for a week.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, Japan. No, I mean, it was, that's why, I was excited about Japan, and it's, I think the unfortunate thing is there are going to be quote unquote letdown races where it's just nothing happens, but this one just felt... This one, I saw a tweet today where it was, people were like, oh, you watch 20 cars drive around in weird shapes? How boring. And it's no. It's so interesting. And this was really the first one that felt just
20 cars driving around in weird
A
circles.
big point in those haters column.
Yep.
Because it was, for lack of a better term, it was a snooze fest.
It was.
The weekend started out really good.
It did. The weekend was very interesting.
Yeah. So we normally don't have a lot to talk about for any of the free practices. But FP2 was probably the most interesting stint of the entire weekend.
100%.
I mean, the weather was normal. So nothing really crazy. I think they had talked about the wind was wild that day. But Jack Doohan had an awful crash.
Yeah.
Awful crash. And one of those that really makes you think of how did he just get up and walk away? I mean, you could tell he was shaken after it.
Yeah, but we thought he was going to be really hurt.
Yeah, and he wasn't. I mean, I think what had ended up happening is it wasn't even, I think they decided it wasn't driver error. It was more so machine failure.
Yeah.
And he was coming down right after turn 1 or 2 or something. And it literally just looked like somebody just blew his car off the track, and it was just, he was driving and all of a sudden he spun and he hit the wall pretty violently.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough, and he got out of the car, and you could tell he was just shaken. I mean, I don't know how anyone wouldn't be after that, but
no.
Yeah, it was. So that was you had a they had to red flag it because the barrier was beat to shit.
Why were there other red flags, Sydney?
Oh, did I not mention? Oh yeah. So did we? One red flag wasn't enough. You wanted more?
Yeah, but like, what caused them?
Oh, so some grass fires.
Just some fires.
Like literal fires, not figurative. Literal fires on the track.
They just were like, I'm here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. So I think we saw it in Singapore last year. It happened once or twice where so they've got on the bottom of these F1 cars have these little titanium skid plates. It's the skid plate wearing down was why Lewis got DQ'd the other week. RIP. Boo. But the skid plates, when they, hit asphalt, they tend to spark a little bit. And the grass was dry as hell.
And there was some wind that blew the sparks into the grass.
Wind. And so they were talking of like, I think this particular area of Japan just didn't get the winter snow that they typically do. I don't know. I kind of zoned out when they started talking about the weather. I was a little too focused on the fire.
Yeah.
But it happened 3 times. It happened 3 times in FP2. And it was one of those, the drivers were so fed up.
Oh,
Charles had some sassy radio message about it.
I've got a direct quote. It's not radio. It was after the race.
Oh,
he was being interviewed. He goes, oh, for fuck's sake. This session is a nightmare. I've had enough of this session.
And honestly, everyone felt that because the session was essentially, it was already cut pretty short because of Jack's crash and they had to rebuild the barrier. And then 1 grass fire, you're like, all right. 2, okay, come on. But 3 grass fires within an hour. It just
that's 1 too many grass fires.
It is. And so spoiler alert, the grass caught on fire again in qualifying.
Woohoo.
And they talked about how they were putting down some basically flame retardant chemical, but they were only putting it down where the grass had already caught on fire.
Yeah, so like it caught on fire somewhere in another place.
And so, yeah, it was just nuts. Like, I don't think I've ever seen, honestly, flags in practice sessions are fairly uncommon, at least red flags. Sometimes you get people to crash out, but 4 red flags in anything, especially a free practice, is honestly
ridiculous.
It's absurd.
It's too many, and it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't happen.
But, at least we had something to talk about because
that's all there is to talk about, except for just a couple things that happened before the race.
Qualifying was great, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, qualifying was really good.
Max finally back up to P1.
Yeah.
Or pole, I guess, for quali. So that was interesting to see, especially with the tractor that the Red Bull has been lately. Like, it's been insane. So that was cool to see. But there was another grass fire.
There was. It was in Q2, so it wasn't, at least it wasn't Q1, I guess, or Q3. But
you thought we were done with grass fires?
No.
There was one more.
There's one more. We could have used one in the race.
I know, that would have made things even slightly more interesting.
Yeah. But no, qualifying was good. I mean, Max, that was a just banker of a lap.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty. And I will somewhat begrudgingly admit that. It was just, I've seen a lot, and it's still stupid early in the season, right? But I've seen a lot of people start saying McLaren has the fastest car, Red Bull has the best driver.
Yes. Well, Max even made a comment this weekend about how, like, y'all, like, we wouldn't even be able to see him if he was in McLaren.
And while, yes, cocky as hell, also 100% factual.
True.
Case in point, the entire 2023 Formula One season.
Yes, 100%. And I think it's just so funny. Like, McLaren's doing so good with their car, and Max, I fully agree. If he wasn't a McLaren, we would have a repeat of 2023.
Oh, without it. It
would be miserable.
You don't earn the title of generational talent unless
you're a generational
skills to back
talent.
up.
Yes.
it's insane just how good. I mean, people joked that so the Red Bull livery this weekend looked a whole lot like the RB, and they joked that they were going to switch the RB and the Red Bull because Yuki and that RB and just honestly Isaac too have been performing better as a team than the Red Bull had.
Yeah.
And so there were a whole bunch of jokes that it was just a ploy to switch the Red Bull and the RB cars.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I think it would be interesting. I think Max in almost any of the cars could have done what he did this weekend.
I would love to just like have him try out a different team's car.
Do like a team roulette?
I know.
Like one race. Maybe like after everything's been decided, just you get a new teammate, new car, just let them have at it.
I feel like if they put like anyone else in the McLaren, they would be like, oopsie, I destroyed the car.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no, it's broken.
Oh no, Carrie Seymour.
No. Our table.
It's broken. Parker loves that.
It's such a funny video.
Our table.
It's broken.
Sorry. I can't help but quote that.
We're chronically online.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Yeah, no. So qualifying was good. I think you had Max P1, both McLarens, then Charles, both Mercedes, and then I think Lewis after that.
Yeah, I think he was started like P8 or something.
Oh yeah, no. Lewis was a little further back.
Lewis has really been a fan of P8 lately.
Yeah, I unfortunately saw a joke that was really funny and unfortunate.
What was it?
Was Lewis going to Ferrari for the 8th, and by 8th world title. Well, right now he's 8th in the standings for the drivers' championship. So he is.
I mean, by definition,
he's
correct.
Getting that 8th.
He is getting 8th.
So the Ferrari fan in me is just kind of ignoring that.
Yeah.
Little factoid of information.
Got to keep the delusion up. But going into the race, right? There's nothing that happened in the race except for a few fun quotes. However, there's one little moment that happened before the race that was just so funny and also kind of sad. So Carlos Sainz had a little bit of a tummy ache.
He had a
tummy ache. And he was being really brave about it, guys.
Doctor diagnosed
tummy ache. But because of that tummy ache, he was just a little bit late for the national anthem. And that tummy ache cost him $20,000.
Well, 10 with a 10. It's like a whatever. Yeah. Nonetheless, the FIA fined Carlos Sainz for having doctor-diagnosed stomach issues and being late for a national anthem.
Yep. Hey, FIA.
You want to know why everyone hates you?
That's why.
Add that to the exhibit A through infinity. Like, it just...
Imagine having a tummy ache and getting fined $20,000 for it. For real.
And I think it was Matt and Tommy, the other like pretty famous F1 podcasters, big Ferrari fans. They were talking about it, and their take on it, I really thought I really liked their take on it. I mean, for one, anyone can agree that that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fact that you're fining somebody for being late to the national anthem because they had, and it's like, it's not even that he was just messing around. Like,
no,
homie was not okay.
No.
And their point was, the FIA's point, I guess, is that, well, it's about respect. Which, sure, yeah. It's a national anthem. You should show respect to anybody's national anthem. But would you rather, and this was what Matt was like, what they were getting into, would you rather him have just been like dancing and like looked in pain and uncomfortable and just
not wanting to be there
and in that case, unprofessional?
He would have looked more disrespectful being there by looking like he didn't want to be there.
Right. And so it's just like, it just really goes back to just the FIA is honest. It's a joke.
And you cannot tell me that the FIA has not had their own tummy issues.
Everybody's got tummy problems.
Everyone knows how tummy issues, those can be urgent. They can be like, debilitating. They can be very frustrating. Yes. No one is, it's like, the whole phrase, like, everyone puts their pant legs on one at a time. It's like, everyone has tummy issues.
Like, would you rather him have crapped his pants on like I mean, it's because it could have
It
happened.
would have been more interesting than the race.
It would have been more interesting in the race, but it's just the FIA time and time again. Just this is why we hate you.
Like, we're going from don't curse, which is already just annoying, but like we're going from things like that, and then like don't wear offensive things, to like, hey, we're gonna control when you can go to the bathroom.
And we would rather you be in like physical pain and discomfort just so that you're here for this entire national anthem.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, the FIA is gonna start chewing their food for the drivers at this
Gosh,
point.
it just, they make me so angry. And I saw that and I just, it, that could have happened to any driver and it would have made me mad for them.
Oh, 100%. Like, it could have happened to Lance Stroll and I still would have been mad about it. I would have thought it was hilarious
Right.
because of the tummy issues. I probably would have made fun of Lance for tummy issues, but Carlos, it's okay if you have tummy issues. You're human. Lance, haha. But
Like,
it still
the
would have thought it was
FIA is
unfair and
everyone's
stupid.
biggest op.
I would, like, genuinely nobody wants the drivers to fail like the FIA.
Which is insane because it's the governing body that's supposed to protect them and have their best interest at heart.
Like,
and they don't. They
What
just don't.
what are they trying to accomplish with all of these rules is what I wonder. Like, what?
Pissing everyone off.
Well, like, genuinely though, like, what are they trying? I understand they're trying to have drivers follow certain rules. They don't want to get like called out for cursing and things like that. But when it comes to these kinds of things, like, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to control these young men's like bodies?
And the thing is, do you want to know what I didn't notice?
That he was gone?
That Carlos was late for the national anthem.
I never noticed that. I didn't notice.
And because we had the pre-race on by that point.
Yeah, we had it on like an hour before.
Right. Yeah. Because that's what we had watched the end of the
basketball game.
Houston
Go
Duke
Cougs.
game. Yeah.
Go Cougs.
National championship game tonight.
It's in like an hour.
It's in like an hour. I think it's going to be great. Which is also, we also thought it was really fun because the Final Four is in San Antonio.
It's like right over there.
Did you see the blimps?
No.
Okay, so they've had these blimps going around that have Magic Johnson and Charles Barkley on them. They look insane and they're kind of hilarious.
I have to see.
So they've had these blimps, right?
Oh my God, you're joking.
You could see them. Wait, nope, that's my parking for your apartment complex. You could see them from my office today.
That is so funny.
Isn't that hilarious?
That's so funny.
So like they've had these blimps going around all weekend and I'm just going to the restroom at work and I'm like, blimps.
Blimp. There's I live right by the Spurs practice facility and they've had Duke practicing there and it's because they want that one guy. But
right.
They've been like right there.
Yeah.
So
it's
cool.
It's kind of a cool thing. I mean, living in a bigger city, sometimes things like this happen, but it's just kind of fun that there's so many people coming to San Antonio. I mean, heck, when y'all flew back, it was like midnight. And you said they were having like a party in the airport.
Yeah, so we fly in. Our flight got delayed multiple times. It's like basically 1 a.m. at this point. It's after midnight. And we are walking into baggage claim. And I've flown into the San Antonio airport really late at night / early in the morning multiple times.
It's always dead.
I like to take late flights so that I can like extend my stay, whatever. But it was popping. They had balloons, they had decorations, they had like music blaring, they had people people in NCAA shirts like dancing, like, that's so fun. Welcome. And I think one of the marching bands arrived when we did because I saw all their instruments.
Oh, how really cool.
So that was really fun. Cool. But yeah, it's really cool to see that happen in San Antonio because we are a big city, but like I feel like nothing really happens here. Well, so.
And I think it does, but I think San Antonio as a city just gets overlooked a lot. Mm-hmm. People, Houston, Austin, Dallas.
Yeah, it's the big three.
But what's funny is, we're getting away from F1, but it's fine. Who cares?
We'll be right back.
San Antonio is like the 7th biggest city in the country.
It's huge. In land area, it's about the same as Houston.
Well, and in city population, San Antonio is a big ass city.
Yeah,
it's just so spread out. And then people think of Dallas. I think Houston outright is bigger, but people think of Dallas and Austin as bigger because of the metropolitan areas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, DFW area, that thing is
Huge.
one big
Austin
city.
itself is a puny
The
city.
city is tiny.
Tiny city. Because I grew up in Houston, which is about the size
Houston's
of
an hour away from Houston.
Houston's an hour away from Houston, in an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the day
Yeah.
and time. But like, I went to Austin after Houston, and I was like, this, like, my friend would be across town, like opposite side of town, and I'd be like, crap, I don't want to drive all the way over there just to meet her for dinner. It'd be like 30 minutes max in traffic.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Because, yeah, Austin's a much smaller city, like smaller, like area-wise city. And San Antonio, like, we're spread out. I mean, shoot, I live 20 minutes from you, and I'm on the other side of town.
Yeah.
But that's what's crazy is we're 30 minutes from downtown and still live in San Antonio city limits.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the blimps. How did we get to the blimps?
No idea.
How did we get to the blimps?
I have no idea how we got there. How did we get to this topic in general? Oh, we were saying no.
How did we
were saying that we were going to watch the game after this.
Oh, but because we were talking about how we had watched the Final Four game with Houston right before the race.
Okay.
There was a point, I was like, I knew we had got here logically.
Guys, we're back.
We're so back,
y'all. We're so back. And we know how we got here.
Anyways, but yeah, I saw the blimps from work today. I just thought it was really fun.
That is really fun.
Because blimps are kind of cool.
Blimps are cool. I've never seen one in person.
I saw it from afar. And honestly, to me, that was good.
I think that's still good.
Because I think these blimps, they like had Charles Barkley and Magic Johnson on the side of them. I think it would have been scary.
It was scary seeing
I think I would have been scary seeing that up close.
You think you would have been scary seeing that up close?
Anyways, but yeah, so
the race now?
Yeah, they came over because the race was at midnight, and so Hannah and Parker brought over canes. Parker was dressed as Adam Sandler.
We'll attach a picture.
It's so funny.
You have to send that to me.
I will. It just made my whole night that much better.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had high hopes for the race.
I did too. After FP2?
Well, especially. And yeah, freak you, Japan weather, because it rained the morning of the Grand Prix.
Yep.
So you want to know what's not dry as hell now?
The grass.
There
was not even a grass fire.
I think at some point in the broadcast, even Crofty was like, we could use a grass fire.
Yeah, genuinely.
And yes, literally anything. I mean, this was not every race. I don't need a big crash for a race to have fun.
Or crazy overtakes. I feel like there was barely any overtakes.
Any overtakes.
Almost none.
And that okay, I'm glad you brought up that, because that was another point where and it's been a common argument I think we're seeing more and more, is it's so hard to overtake at so many of the tracks on the calendar in modern F1 cars.
Yep.
And not because, this car's better than that car, or because
it's just the track design.
The cars are too big.
And there's only one DRS zone on this track, and it was short.
Yeah, and so not only were there hardly any overtakes, the weather was weird, and it came down to tire strategy. And even then, like, it was at one point, I think they said, whoever ended up qualifying was gonna win this race.
Yeah, and it was, of course, Max Verstappen. So,
but it just, like, the only like moment of excitement was Lando and Max's pit stop.
And I'll get to that.
Yeah.
Speaking of tire strategy though, can I mention tire strategy?
Go for it, dog.
I'm like with my little feather. Tire strategy was interesting this race, and that leads me into kind of the main focal point of this race that provided any form of entertainment, and that was radios. And there still weren't even that many good ones. There's just a couple, but I have some that I want to talk about. One of them was Alex Albon, and he's talking about Ollie Behrman's tire strategy. And to lead into this, Alex is already having some issues, right? And we all know Alex Albon. How would you give me 3 words? How would you describe Alex Albon?
Sweetie pie.
That's 2.
It's hyphenated.
Okay, that's 1. Give me 2 more.
Sweetie pie. Loves his girlfriend. All hyphenated.
Okay.
Happy? Generally happy.
Generally a happy guy. Yeah, very easygoing. So I'm going to do my best to. This is gonna be interesting. This might be the highlight of the podcast. I'm gonna do my best to recite these quotes from Alex on his radio as he said them. So, and I'll talk in my normal voice when I am his race engineer. I need to get ready. These shifts are so bad. What have we done to them? It's been shit at the start. It's being shit now. Can you be more specific? Yeah, the same I've been talking about all the time. Honestly, you guys were making absolutely no sense. Ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, the engineer goes, okay. And then we're on to Ollie has pitted and is changing his tires. And the race engineer comes on and goes, Ollie Behrman is changing his tires. He is going in for pit stop. And again, Alex Albon, yeah, we'll pit before then.
And it just
when has he ever raised his voice?
Well, that's what, remember, I think I showed you that tweet mid-race where it's Alex Albon, his radio messages are either super kind and happy or suicidal, I think was the term that they used, because it just literally there is no in between with his radio messages. They are one end or the other. And must have just done pissed him off.
Call him Sean Kingston because he's suicidal.
No, for real. And it was just so funny because it felt very out of Alex Albon's norm.
It was so out of character that I forgot it was him for a moment.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It was a very Max-esque radio message, and it was just extra funny because it came from Alex.
It was funny. And then there was the only other interesting thing that we had that happened during the race was that pit stop that we were talking about. So Lando and Max went and pitted around the same time. Max is already on his way out of the pits. Lando pulls out. He's I'm about even with Max, actually a little bit behind. But he's maybe if I speed up a little, I can cut him off.
I mean, half a second more and it would have worked.
However, Max was on the line and was already on his way, and Lando just barely missed it. And so he is driving next to Max, being how those Ford F-150s with the lifted trucks with the LEDs and the angry eyes on the lights
and the lanes merging in.
Yeah, they'll try to intimidate you.
Mm-hmm.
And try it's a zipper. They're supposed to get behind you and you're slightly ahead of them. But they're no, I'm big and bad. I'm gonna get ahead of you.
They are above the zipper merge.
They are above the zipper merge. Lando thought he was above the zipper merge here, and he threw I say a little fit about it. It wasn't a real one. It was just he was I was there, but he wasn't. He just kind of misunderstood.
Which any driver would have. I was there. I was ahead. Blah, blah, blah,
yeah, and then looking back, you're okay, maybe not. But
runs out of real estate.
Yeah, he ran out of real estate. And and this is again. How are there no grass fires? He's driving in the grass now.
Yes.
He is driving in the grass and then has to slow down and get behind Max.
He basically has to, admit defeat and slot in behind Max. I mean, he did what he was supposed to.
Yeah.
But it was just really funny because all of a sudden there's just grass in the air because he has gone from asphalt to grass. And so then there's just all of these jokes about, well, one, Max being in a tractor, but then Lando making his car a lawnmower.
Oh, yeah. Well, in the Max Verstappen podcast room, the cool down room, they're rewatching that clip, and Max turns to Lando and goes, quite an expensive lawnmower.
And then Lando basically agreed and said something after him. But what I thought was even the drivers were damn, that was a boring race.
Yeah.
Because I think in that cool down room, they'll always show the drivers at a lot of the race highlights. And it was either Oscar or Lando goes, that's it?
Yeah.
Because it was.
That was all there was.
I mean, not only was this race it was at midnight our time, it was so boring.
Yeah, it wasn't even helping me keep my eyes open. No, it was making me want to close them.
We almost fell asleep. Parker was asleep for most of it.
He took a nice nap.
And then the whole lawnmower incident happens, and then however many laps, and then I got some terrible news that quite frankly ruined my evening. And
which with so much respect, was the most entertaining part of the night.
No,
The most
it's fair.
entertaining part of the race.
It was. I was having a moment.
It gave us something to feel again.
Hannah let me vent, and then I just kind of unloaded on her a little bit.
You vented. You're sus. You're the imposter.
You're right.
Sydney vented.
So shout out to the Terrible News for helping us get through the last 15 laps of the race.
Maybe 20.
15 or 20.
That sure woke us up.
It sure did. Otherwise, I think we all would have been asleep.
Yeah.
We would have joined Parker on the floor and just slept.
Yeah.
It was so funny because at one point after I got said terrible news, Parker, like, I think this was when he might, no, he was already on the floor.
Yeah, it was at the end of the race.
He kind of sat up and mumbled something and then rolled over because I was crying.
Yes,
at this point.
And I was like, he's waking up, he's gonna see you're crying and be like, what's wrong? He goes,
like rolls over, just goes back to sleep because I'm like, great, now I got to re-explain why I'm crying. No,
don't need to explain anything.
But then they were really kind, and afterwards were showing me weird ass Facebook Marketplace finds.
Specifically cars.
Yeah.
Well, there's this YouTube channel that we like. I don't know what the actual channel name is, but they have a series called Cars Against Humanity.
Yeah, it's really
funny.
They
come prepared with a bunch of random cars on Facebook Marketplace that are like ridiculous and ugly and like messed up, or just like funny or tricked out weird, and they're given a prompt is giving you 2 inches of space behind you going 80 on the highway, and then they have to choose from the cars. It's funny, whatever, you should check it out. But
so it was kind of we had some outside influence on helping us get through that race. It just was, I mean, I don't need every race to be in Australia or a Brazil from where just so much happens and it's chaotic and we have so much but it just nothing happened.
No.
Nothing happened.
I have a few fun facts from the race that happened, but like they're nothing crazy. Like something to note, Yuki got P12 and Liam got P17, so that was kind of a little bit of a win there. I think we all I think we talked about this last time, but I didn't want Yuki to take the Red Bull seat because it's kind of a trap, right?
Yeah, I don't want Yuki to get Red Bulled.
So exactly. So the fact that he got P12 and Liam got P17, quite happy.
I hope he succeeds.
Me too. Lance got P20, which is hilarious. And we actually, so
I forgot we did this.
Yeah, so you want to pull up the picture?
Yeah.
So Sydney's sister Shelby texts us saying, "Don't say anything. I haven't watched qualifying. I don't know who's in pole and all of that." And so I think it was you or Parker said,
just read it?
Just read it.
So she goes, "Okay, friends, I can't watch qualifying yet. So if y'all have watched it, please don't say anything." And so we spent all day Saturday together. It was so much fun. I mean, we spend most weekends together, but anyway, that's not the point. So then I reply like 2 minutes later and I said, "Oh yeah, Lance P1. There was a crazy crash and he got lucky." Parker then goes, "I've been holding it in all morning. I'm over the moon." And Shelby goes, "And that's how I know that's not what happened." And I said, "Well, we figured you'd want to know." Because to our defense, if we really have any defense, any of us would want to know if Lance was going to be P1
before going into
it. But then Hannah takes the graphic, because I think
this is a graphic from like probably years ago, where it's an Aston Martin graphic, and it was like P6.
Yeah, well, she does this to it.
I photoshopped it to say P1,
and it's a damn good Photoshop.
Graphic design is my passion.
Graphic design is her passion, and so she sends that, and Shelby goes, "I'm skeptical." And then we never heard from her after that because I think she probably figured out, that it wasn't true. But we thought it was really funny. We were just giggling.
Yeah. We also had like 5 glasses of wine at that point.
Was this? I thought this was before the wine. I think we were still at the distillery.
Oh, we might. I think we were. You're right.
I think we were still at the distillery.
We were one mini shot of bourbon in, and our ears were warm.
Yeah. I'm not a whiskey person.
I am.
You are. You and Parker are.
Yeah.
For context, there's a distillery up about an hour and a half north of San Antonio.
About an hour.
And they were doing a limited release. I was recruited as a number.
Because you can only get one bottle per person.
Yes.
And the release started at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So we got there at like 8 a.m., which means we left at like 6:45, which means Sydney got up.
I got up at 5.
Yeah.
I set my alarm for 5 a.m.
So no wonder we were we were all falling asleep at the race. We've been up since 5 a.m.
I drank some cold brew straight from the bottle before the race because I was exhausted. You didn't end up napping.
Mm-mm.
I think I only slept for like 30 minutes from 7 to 7:30, give or take a little bit.
I tried to nap.
So like we were almost awake for 24 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because y'all left at 2:30.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed till 3, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I fell asleep till 3. But anyways, yeah. So it was, yeah, and then we went wine tasting. It was
That's the fun.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Okay.
Shout out French Connection Wines.
Shout
you
out
should
French
check them out.
Connection. If you're in Texas, go. They're amazing.
Mhm.
Isaac got P8. I'm so happy for baby.
I know.
Isaac is the best.
I feel so protective over Isaac, Kimmy, and Ollie of the rookies. Just something about those 3.
They're just so happy.
Speaking of Kimmy, I didn't find this out until after the last race. So you know how Kimmy is 18 and is quite literally a child?
Yeah.
And you know how most racers, when they've got, because there was a 2-week break between China and Japan. Most like went somewhere, kind of got to decompress. You want to know where Kimmy Antonelli had to go? School. Literal school. He said, "It's not funny, I got school. It's not funny.
I got it. It's not funny, I got school. It's not funny, I got school."
And it's just so funny to me that this Formula 1 driver has to go back to go to school.
He has to go take algebra.
Like, in finals. And I will say,
He's in
I
finals.
respect the hell out of it because I think he got asked about it in an interview and like they were kind of poking fun of like, you had to go back to school, huh? You got homework to do? And I think then he talked about, he's like, well, I had 1 year left. And I think he said it was something that his mom really wanted to see him finish school. And so I was like, oh, okay, cute. Oh, well, you got homework.
That's so admirable though, and
it's
a smart decision because like
yeah,
I mean I don't want to like he seems like he's gonna be
I think he'll be
for a
around.
bit, but at the same time like you never know what can happen.
Yeah,
and it's good to have options. So although I will say even if he didn't finish school and he applied anywhere, I think people would see his resume and be like,
oh
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to me that Kimmy Antonelli has to go to school when he's not driving.
He has his homework in his backpack in the paddock.
What was it? I think they made a joke of like, we're gonna have to help him with was it Pythagorean? That one?
Yeah,
A
Pythagorean
squared plus
theorem.
B squared equals C squared.
Pythagorean theorem.
Thank you.
Do you know the quadratic formula? I ask Parker this on a regular basis.
Negative b plus or minus. Hold on, right? Negative b plus or minus the square root of 2ab.
Close.
2ac.
Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac.
Yeah.
All of that over 2a.
All of that over. Okay, I had the pieces.
You got more than Parker does, and Parker is an electrical engineer.
Yeah, he knows more math than I do.
But
I'm a civil engineer.
You're still an engineer, though, so it's impressive.
But my worst grades were in Cal 3 and 4.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
And I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I'm an engineer. I'm not good at math.
No.
At one point, my classes I had a class on dirt, water, concrete, and steel. All at one point. I was taking classes on the elements. It was soils, water resources, concrete, and steel design.
What a great class.
It was.
That'd be
I had
like
a lab
a good
where we made concrete and then we broke it to figure out whose group was the strongest. My group, we had the best concrete.
Wait, that's so fun. I low-key want to do that.
Yeah, it was a strength test and we had the strongest concrete.
That's
I think
fun.
I have a piece of it in my car.
Fun.
Because we all took a piece of it. We're like, haha, we were better
winner.
than everyone.
Yeah, that's fun.
Anyways,
Sorry, I get sidetracked. You can tell how boring this race was that we have gotten sidetracked like 6 times.
And I'm not even mad about it.
No, I'm not either.
And these have been, sometimes
this
I feel
has been
like
more
our
interesting.
side combos are really just, they're entertaining to us. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like these have been really good.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that happens a lot, I think, is that we get really wrapped up in what happened and, like, explaining it well and things like that. And I think sometimes we forget that, like, most people that would watch this podcast probably saw the race. So we
Yeah.
don't need to like re-explain things.
Nah.
But it's good to talk about it because we want to educate
Mhm.
people. And I do have a lot of friends and family that watch
Meanwhile,
this.
one has been educational, but not in the F1 sense. You learned something about San Antonio, my college coursework,
Yeah.
whether or not we know the quadratic formula.
Yeah, if you didn't know the quadratic formula, now you do.
There you go. Or you had a good reminder.
Yeah. Parker, study up.
One of the other, I guess, just random little things that I saw that I saw this pre-qualifying even. So Toto Wolff wasn't at the Japanese Grand Prix. And he hasn't been the last several years. I think I saw that this started because he almost missed his son being born because it was like the weekend right after the Japanese Grand Prix. And so he hasn't gone to the Japanese Grand Prix since. And so people are joking that it's not because of his son, that that's just the cover story, and that this man somehow like got himself banned from the country of Japan. And I just think, do I believe it's true?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think believing that is
It's
so
much
funny.
more fun.
Because if there was going to be a team principal banished from a country, it wouldn't be Toto.
It wouldn't. It would be Horner.
Yes.
Or what's his name? Alpine.
Oh yeah, him. Well, he's not team. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Flavio.
I almost said Fiora for some reason. I'm like, that's not correct.
But I just think it's so funny to spread a rumor, and even if it's a total lie, I'm gonna choose to believe that that man just did something to deserve to be banished from Japan.
Me when I spread misinformation for fun.
This is me admitting to spreading misinformation
for fun.
And
I think we should do it more often.
Because that's hilarious.
I think we should do it so much more often. And speaking of misinformation, me and Sydney at separate times, I'm not talking like on the same day, I'm talking separate days, have both thought that Max and Kelly had their baby. Like I was born.
Oh my god, I forgot.
It was like a Mandela effect. It was crazy. So the first time was like a couple weeks ago for me. And I was like, I swear I saw a picture of them holding the baby was born, and I tell Sydney and she's like, it hasn't been born yet. And I'm like, yes, it has. Mm-hmm. And so I go through their Instagrams, I go through everywhere, hasn't been born. I'm like, that's weird. And then this weekend, same thing happened to her. And I was like, we just had this conversation. It hasn't happened yet.
And because I swear we had a conversation on how weird we thought the kid's name was.
Wait, I do feel like we had that conversation.
And wasn't Shelby involved in it? I thought we had that in our group chat. Like we had.
I swear we had a conversation on how weird the name was and that we couldn't pronounce it.
Yes. I know. It was one of those moments of me thinking that Lando got disqualified from the Australian Grand Prix, but he didn't.
Yeah. This is
real.
Way more crazy though, because I remember that conversation.
Yes,
I remember having a conversation about a weird baby name.
Yes,
and I remember like Elon Musk.
And kids. I remember seeing the picture of them holding the kid.
Yes. Anyways, next week, come with us to get our brains checked.
That's need to have happened.
Yeah, and fun. Vote in the comments for who gets the lobotomy.
They'd probably A, Hannah, B, Sydney, C, all of the above. For dear God, please, for dear God. What?
That's 1 point for Sydney.
I mean, yeah, no, it was a really boring race.
It was horrible.
It was a really boring race. There was some stuff that happened over the weekend that was cool, I guess. But I think Bahrain next.
It's Bahrain and then Saudi Arabia.
Well, and then there were all of the.
Or is it Abu Dhabi?
Saudi.
It's right
Bahrain
there.
and then Saudi. Yeah.
This is a calendar that Sydney got me for Christmas.
I sure did. It's the only reason I know when anything is any time.
Anything is anytime.
Why say lot word when few word do trick?
Yeah. I have like on the F1 app, you can ask it to put all the races on your Google Calendar, and so I did that. So they're all on my calendar.
Oh, that's kind of smart.
Yeah. So every weekend that there's like a red block for.
I just manually put them on my Google Calendar.
On your Formula Google One calendar.
Shut up. That was the chair.
It's the chair. The chair. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can get it like on the mic. It's not doing it now. Hold on.
That kind of sound. When Hannah swivels, when you swivel this other chair just right. It sounds like a fart. It's
It went
really
like,
funny.
what?
Fart noises are funny. Okay. Well,
I didn't want to do it too loud and like blow out the microphone. Because sometimes when we laugh really hard, it's really loud, and I have to adjust the audio settings.
It's because we're funny.
It's because we're hilarious and we make each other laugh. But I'm not gonna do that on purpose. What was that laugh?
It was John Travolta in Grease.
It was giving the no, don't kill yourself. You're so sexy.
Anyways, but yeah, well, I think I also had high hopes for Japan because it was the start of the first triple header of the season.
And Yuki switch, like there's a lot going into it that was interesting.
There was so much going in. I think people were really, really hyped. And then, so it was just letdown on top of a letdown. And honestly, historically, triple headers are notoriously chaotic.
I wanted to say, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, I need to know what you're going to say now.
I got in Mexico. I was in Mexico and I was at the bar and I had a lot to drink that day. I was just tired, and like Parker's family can go crazy. Like Parker's family can rally all day, which is like really respectable because I can't do that. And I saw on the menu at the nice bar that there was a 0 proof margarita, and so I was like, I'm gonna have that. I tasted it, and like I've had 0 proof margaritas and drinks before. They taste a little different, but like they're fine. That one tasted so real, I had to ask them, is this real or is it the 0 proof? And they showed me the tequila that was in it, and it's called Almave. And I was like, okay, that looks pretty good. I looked it up. It's Lewis Hamilton's tequila.
Yeah.
It's Lewis Hamilton's tequila.
And she brought it for the race. And
I bought a bottle.
I almost said it sounded exactly like real tequila.
If you listen really closely, it sounds like tequila. You have to have a lot of tequila.
I can hear colors and see sound.
You have to have a lot of tequila to be able to hear it, but then you can. I swear. Trust me. No, but it does taste like real tequila, and it smells like it too.
It was good.
You take a whiff and you're like, ooh.
It was a good. Yeah, we had some ranch waters.
It was lovely. Like it was to the point that I want to like make one just like throughout the day, but I'm like, I know
you can. There's no alcohol.
I know, but like even if it's like a virgin ranch water, it's like I'm still drinking a ranch water like during working hours, and so like the look of it is frowned upon, you know. And I want to
put it in a coffee mug.
But that's no fun. It's got to be in a fun glass.
Well, one could argue that having a margarita or a ranch water in a mug I would consider that a fun glass because it's not the typical glass for those drinks.
It's not, but would you want a fun, fancy little drink in a coffee mug?
Push comes to shove. I don't really care what vessel the drink is in.
Okay, well, I'm very picky about the cups that my drinks go in.
She does have some really fun wine glasses.
I do have fun cups,
I will say.
So I have to have my fun, pretty glasses. All right, but
nonetheless, I mean, yeah.
That was Japan.
Sorry if you're underwhelmed. We were. So now feel what we feel.
Empathy is a strong emotion.
Empathy is a strong emotion. But I don't know. I'm hopeful. I say that. I mean, it's our default as Ferrari fans. We're naturally hopeful and delusional.
Yeah. Oh, and happy birthday, Oscar Piastri.
Oh, yeah.
It was his birthday. He got
Sunday.
P3, and it was great, and nothing quite really happened there.
Yeah, he got a podium.
He wanted to pass Lando a few times, but it just didn't work
close
out.
at one point, but it was cold. There were no overtakes. Again, boring as hell race. The race that could have been an email.
Yeah, genuinely.
Like, I will say, and I said it even when they were doing the podium celebration, I missed the Dutch national anthem.
Me too. It's kind of comforting.
I think anyone who lived through the 23 season is so Stockholm syndromed by the Dutch national anthem.
I love it though.
It's a kind of good relaxing. National anthem.
It's very relaxing.
Like, it's good. That and the Italian.
Yes.
So good. So good. They're on my F1 playlist.
Of course.
Unironically.
Yeah.
As is How Bad Can I Be from the Lorax.
And with that, thanks for watching our podcast. We'll see you next time for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm Hannah.
I'm Sydney.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Which is also the name of the podcast.
What?
That's also the name. No. Oh, damn. I did it again. I goofed.
I was like,
I goofed my words.
Do I not know the name of our own podcast?
No, well, evidently I don't, because I called it the Fourth Wing podcast.
That was funny.
That was really funny. No, my playlist. All right, playlist podcast. They both both start with a p and end with a st. Anyways, the playlist is on Spotify. It's called It's Lights Out and Away We Go. Yeah, you should go follow it. I think it's a pretty good playlist.
Yeah.
Don't be discouraged by the how bad can I be. If you look at the rest of the playlist, it actually kind of works.
It does.
Anyways,
so
this has been our episode of the Japanese Grand Prix.
It's lights out and away we go for the Fifth Wheel podcast.
Bye.
Bye.